Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Paul Brown Show. This evening, my guest will be former IBF World Bantamweight Champion, ESPN Fighter of the Decade for the 1980s, Carolina Boxing Hall of Fame inductee, 2003, Carolina, North Carolina, Charlotte, very own, Mr. Kelvin Seabrooks. How you doing there, Mr. Seabrooks?
Very well, very well.
Thank you for coming on the Paul Brown Show.
Appreciate you having me.
Let's tell a little bit about yourself, sir. You were struck by a car at age 9 and placed into a coma. Describe that experience.
I think, being in a coma, you don't know anything, you don't feel anything, but you hear things. You hear people talking. For me, and being paralyzed was something that, not feeling my legs, it was a tough thing for me because, I wanted to do different things in life. at a young age, I was setting goals for myself, and I also think that by God allowing me the opportunity, reaching for some juice on the table and falling out of the bed, which put my feelings back in my legs, that was God telling me now it's my time to go help someone else.
So, who inspired you to really walk again?
God Himself. That's it. Now, I don't blame anyone because I know they can't do that for me. Even when the doctor said I'd never be able to walk again, yes, that's how I know it was God who inspired me to walk again.
Boxing. What is it about boxing that you like?
You know what? Honestly, I love boxing. In the beginning, I didn't want to get hit, and I don't think no man want to get hit. Right. So, but I did because coming up in North Charlotte, low-income neighborhood, for me was my way out. I played Little League baseball to keep my feelings and strengthen my legs and everything through baseball. But at the same time, when it came to boxing, I knew I had to do a lot of running, a lot of training and things like that. So I think with boxing, it helped me a lot by being able to go out, accomplish a goal, and the other kids see who are coming from the same environment, low-income environments, that you can be anything you want to be. So that inspired me to work twice as hard because I knew that if God blessed me, it's my time to bless someone else.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know you have a passion for helping out the youth in our community and I guess also the adults. What brings about this passion in yourself for that?
Well, for that, I think I knew what I was going through or what I went through when I was young, and I really don't want to see other kids go through that. Back in the day when I was growing up and all that, we had baseball fields, we had soccer fields and football fields and boxing gyms and basketball courts. In fact, I was in I think in '94, if I'm not mistaken. In '94, I was in Raleigh speaking with the Lieutenant Governor and the House Speaker in reference to coming into Charlotte and tearing up all these parks, but the parks are tearing up all in the low-income neighborhoods. And I think that, for me, that I did that because these kids can't afford anything.
Correct.
So if you go and you tearing up all the parks and building up habitat houses, understanding that people have to have a place to live, we know that. But what are you going to do about the kids who don't have a place to have, let go, to enjoy themselves, to play, as opposed to going out to Freedom Park? In my neighborhood, I had a baseball field, I had a football field, I had a basketball court, and I had a boxing gym. I had all this around me, and that's what helped me get out. Because I had to work hard for it, naturally. In order to be a fighter, you have to work hard. And so with that being said, kids now are lazy.
Okay.
Right? Kids now are lazy, and they have goals. They want to become ball players, whether it be football, basketball, volleyball, or whatever. Everybody want to be some sort of athlete because they all want recognition. They want to be, and that's probably part of my thing too. But I wanted recognition. I wanted somebody to know who I am. Everybody looking for attention. I was one of those who was looking for attention, and I got it. So now I'm trying to show other kids how to go about doing it the right way, because I see now in the schools also that these kids don't, they don't want to pay attention to the teacher. They cussing out the teachers. And I'm working in the school system. So what I try to do as a school security, with my uniform, and now they know who I am, I try to motivate kids.
Why is it such an important asset for the kids to have a goal? Because I know you said that was very important for you.
That's very important, because if you don't have a goal, then you know you don't have nowhere to go. You don't have anything to strive for. So my thing is, everybody want to be, especially here in America, this is the richest country in the world, and everybody want to be something, but no one know how to go about doing it. All right? Now, for me, I know that it takes school to get to do anything you want to do, anything. And even in the fight game, it takes school, because if you can't understand a big contract, then you stuck. Your own manager can rob you. See what I mean? Because you're not understanding your contract. In today's world now, you have so many parents who are trying to be friends with their kids and not be parents, right? And I think a lot of that becomes, especially in low-income neighborhoods, and I think a lot of that comes because now the government has stepped in and trying to run your life and run your household. Like I said, back in '94, working for a chiropractor, when I was going out and I was doing motivational speaking engagements, then I went to Raleigh through the chiropractor, who took me to Raleigh to speak to the Lieutenant Governor and the House Speaker. And I'm telling them that, here you are, you're coming into North Charlotte, you're coming into Charlotte, period, and you're tearing up all of these parks, building up all these houses. Now you see the gang members coming into place, because these kids are bored. They have nothing to do, nowhere to go. They can't afford anything. So now they come here tearing up the neighborhoods. All right, they're breaking in people's houses, because that's fun to them. All right, the parents can't control the kids. Now the kids run in the house because the government come in and tell you that if you put your hand on your child call 911, we coming to get you. Not and we as black folks, black people, not understanding that we paying them to lock us up. All right, we paying them to take our freedom. Okay, so why are you doing that when all you need to do is go and, do what you need to do to your child, keep them in the right place, I mean, take all that stuff back about, you came with your child. And I think not only that, when they started to think about timeout, what is timeout? We didn't come up that way.
Correct.
The black folks, we didn't come up with no timeout. You hook your button and go home. I mean, really, that's it.
That's true. Yes,
But and I'm not racist, but when they started thinking about putting you in timeout, but we don't know anything about that. We just, when God says, spare the rod, spoil the child. So we're not about doing all that. We'll make sure our child get what they need to put them on the right track. So, with that being said, for me, if the parents stop trying to be friends and get back into being a parent, then our kids can get what they need.
Growing up, how important was you as far as peer pressure? And how does that exist today? Because we have a lot of
peer pressure.
Peer pressure. The kids want to do right, but then again, they got their friends telling them to do otherwise.
Exactly. And a lot of that comes because, again, I talk about games. But it looks good to kids, they go for it. All right? Because to them, that's a lot of fun. Kids now, you send them walking around here in $200 shoes, but yet you can't pay your light bill. That's the parent trying to buy your love, trying to buy your friendship. All right? You don't need that. And so for me, the peer pressure is, what I did growing up, I played, like I said, played baseball, and I went into boxing. That was my family, right? And so I treated it like a family. And it taught me a lot about control and discipline and things like that. And then afterwards, when I leave it, if I'm not, in that, then I'm to myself. A lot of times, right to this day, kids, when they see me in school, they always see me by myself. The people who are around me, yes, that's my team. And I'm going to look out for my team, but I'm going to do my job. And my job is to try to motivate these kids and keep them on the right track and let them see that, hey, if you want to go somewhere, you have to do the right thing. Because I'm seeing kids now who are coming from the low-income neighborhoods, you put them in the classroom, You know, like I tell them, this is your job. This is not just school. This is your job. You know, when I come to work, I can't act the fool. All right? I have to invite me up and send me home. Okay, the same thing with you. If you come to work and you're not doing your job, or you come to school and you're not doing your job, they're going to send you to ISS. Okay, now if you're in ISS and you're not doing no work, that means you'll be in the same position next year because you're not doing anything to try to catch up or keep up. You're holding yourself back. So a lot of people have a tendency, you know, especially us as black folks, we have a tendency to blame white folks for us being back, left behind. But what we need to do is start looking at us and understanding that we need to take charge of our own life. That we need to go out there and we need to do something and set goals and go for it. And stop blaming other people.
When you are in that school system and you see a lot of, because I know you have to see the good students and the bad students. When you see that good student trying to do the right thing, trying to get that grade to get to that college, and then they have the other kids kind of like telling them that you're square, you're, you know what I'm saying? How does that make you feel, and how do we eliminate the bad kids from the good? Because you're going to have to eventually have to separate. You got to weed out and find out exactly who wants to be successful and who not.
You know what, in all honesty, you don't have a lot of bad kids. We say they're bad because of the way they act.
Correct.
Right? You have kids who really want something, but don't know how to go about getting it.
Correct.
So what looks good to them, they go for it, even if it's doing something bad. Because again, as I said before, they want attention. So that's what they do now with the peer pressure. That's it. Peer pressure comes because they want something good, right? But they're not willing to work for it. So if a gamer was out here and whatever he or she's doing that looks good, they're gonna go for it. Again, I started back at home. You know, at home, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do and you're talking to your child, you know, then your child not gonna know. If you're not talking to your child.
How is it important for the family, the parents, to listen to the children?
And that's very important. That's very important because if you all communicate, if the parent and the kid or child, whatever, if you all are communicating, then in the end, when you get there in the real world and you're on your own one day, you can see exactly what we were talking about as an adult, as your parent. You know, but at the same time, too, that can work both ways. Sometimes you can also help your parent understand the real world because things have changed now. When I was growing up, a lot of things have changed. A lot of people have changed. I remember back in the day, was the old saying was, it takes a village to raise a child. But that village is gone. Nobody, now you put your hand on somebody else's child, they coming at you the wrong way. When that one time when the whole village was around, correct, everybody raised your child. They got away from that. And then and because of that, that's why your child's the way they are.
Team Seabrooks. Why did you start this program, and what was the deciding factor that you felt like Team Seabrooks was needed?
I started this really because, as I said before, I know where I come from. And it does take a village to raise a family, to raise a child. But what I'm trying to put together is something where it's not, I don't want to make it, see, when people see me, they look at me as just being a boxer, a world champion, this and that, and they think boxing can help kids. No. Boxing only helps those who really are into boxing. Every child don't want to box. So I figure if you bring something, I was in Colorado Springs, this is what I did. Everywhere I go, I try to learn something from the place or wherever. So when I go to Colorado Springs and I'm training, but I'm noticing you have all the sports equipment up here. Everything is good, but you don't have tutoring or mentoring. So for me, with me trying to start up Team Seabrooks,